Welcome back, everybody, to the Board YouTube channel for Pick and Roll, the NBA betting live stream that goes live every weekday morning at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time. Reminder, we are part of the Hammer Betting Network, and we're ready to get into today's episode. It was a very nice day yesterday. We'll recap that a little bit later on, but we do have an NBA free pick on the way for you guys today. Smaller slate, just 2 games coming up here, but still a pick that we're ready to give out to you guys. So if you're ready to tail, you enjoyed yesterday's winning bets, make sure you guys hit that like button. We got a ton of support on yesterday's stream. We're very much appreciative of that. Let's try to keep it going today. A reminder to subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all the content that we have here. Yes, we have the pick and roll live streams like this every weekday morning. Myself and Kirk Evans going live today at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time for NBA weekly takeaways and betting as well. Stay tuned for later on today for that. But with that, we're ready to get into the free pick for today's stream. And for that, we are going to the Bucks and the Spurs game because we want to get Giannis Antetokounmpo involved on a same game parlay. So we're going to do something similar to what we have done for other plays this season, and that is go for the under on points, but the over on assists. So for minus 115 odds at DraftKings, we're going to take Giannis under 36.5 points and 5+ assists. Again, minus 115 at DraftKings. You can find a better price at ESPN Bet if that is available in your region. But let's go to you, Pips. Talk to us about Giannis and why we're going to go for this play against the Spurs.
So the last game against the Spurs, I watched a lot of Bucks this season, and I watched that game. We had Vassell bet, and yeah, if first off, I just want to start. Like, if you take a look at his covering of this line, this is 34 line. We are going to take 36, and he's under this line in 17 out of the last 20 games. 2 overs against single coverage of Pacers. And that was even in those scenarios, one was only by 1 point and by 1 point against the Orlando Magic. So, like, he's not covering this line the entire season. Second part, it's a high likelihood of a blowout in this game. Third part, it's a back-to-back game after a very difficult game last night against the Pacers where they lost. And fourth, and the most important thing, last 2 games against the Pacers, he was double teamed. They built a wall in front of him, and he stayed under points pretty comfortable and gone over assist pretty comfortable. And that's exactly how the Spurs defended him in the last game. They built a wall in front of him. They connect on the drives, and they held him to only 11 points, and he had, I think it's a career high 16 assists in that game. So
sorry, Pip, your microphone is staticky again. You may want to switch to your laptop mic while we're on the fly quickly. Yeah, I don't know.
We checked it before the show.
We did check this. We did vet this right before the show. So apologies. Yeah. Just take a second to your guy.
Yeah, just switch some options. Maybe change just.
You're able to do it in the StreamYard settings as well, Pips. If you want to do it quickly there, but yeah, yesterday's game was 142 to 130 loss to the Pacers. So a tough game back to back, and the blow up potential here absolutely going to be a factor. But yeah, continue here.
Okay, so the thing is, when they are defending Giannis like these 4 teams, when they defend Giannis like building a wall or double teaming him, so far this season he went under this line of the points and he went over the lines of assists pretty comfortable. Last 2 games are the prime example against the Pacers. Worse defense than the Spurs, went under the points pretty comfortable, over on assists pretty comfortable. Last game against the Spurs, they built a wall, they double teamed him. 11 points in 33 minutes and 16 assists. So we are going here with under points and over assists, and that should be like an easiest. Small slate, but I think this has a great value if Giannis is playing tonight. It's back-to-back after a difficult game last night. So yeah, I really like this. And also last game, Wembanyama was out. So even without Wembanyama, their defense is probably the worst in the league when Wemby is not playing, and they held him to 11 points, and that's how they defended Zion. Also kept him under very, very low scoring games from Zion. they kept Ja Morant under also by building in front of him, and now it's time for Giannis to again be under. And I'm like we saw on the graphics, he is not covering this line. Even if they in like his range of the point is 31 to 33 almost every night, 36 and a half is a bit high for a blowout game. So yeah, I think we could see Giannis 25 points and like 7 or 8 assists and maybe even a triple double. Last game he had a triple double, and game earlier against the Pacers he had a triple double. So yeah, it's a possibility to.
All right, so there is the bet for today for Giannis. Smaller slate, but still position that Pips is very fond of, hoping to find another winning bet for the show. So with that, let's talk about the recap of the previous day's bets. A very nice recap indeed for today, back in the green on the season with a nice 3-1 day. Also, a big SGP winner. It's been a while. The season started off so hot on Pips' big SGPs. Got into a cold stretch here. Still very profitable on the season. We were, I think, 500 going into yesterday on big SGPs. And when you're getting 3x, 4x your bets on these, like that's some great numbers. But another winning play here for the Bucks and Pacers game. We also got a win somehow on Siakam and Ja Morant. Siakam had a more subdued second half. Foul trouble certainly helped us out. Brunson unfortunately just crushed his assist line, but crushed his points line as well. And Anthony Davis, it's nice to have a hook win for once here. We've had a lot of pretty brutal beats here, so it's nice to put one in the win column, get our hook counter to 3-7 on the season. I honestly feel better about winning on the hook rather than just a sweat-free one almost. But first of all, let's talk about the big SGP because that is the big win for the day at plus 290 in the end of MGM. Talk to us about this one, and was the defense just as predicted from yourself?
Yes, everything completely the same as it was in the game earlier. Almost every player played exactly the same. It was insane. Even Damian Lillard shot exactly terrible, exactly the same like he did in the last game. So last game he scored 2 buckets in the first minute of the game. He has 5 points, 2 of 2 to start the game. He finished the game 3 from 16. Last night, he started the game 2 of 2 in the first 2 minutes, 5 points, and then was 3 of 16 at one point, or 3 from 15 at one point. Insane, like, but interesting. Yeah, they did the same thing on Giannis. Giannis had assists. He had 1 less potential assist than in the last game. Brook Lopez got his. Middleton got his. Yeah, everything worked, and Halliburton took over in the fourth, like he always does against these teams. So yeah, everything went as expected, and that's the thing with these correlated plays. When the defensive schemes and the way they are playing are exactly as I thought, huge chance of hitting this, insane chance.
Yeah, with these big SGPs, as much as it's like, when people see like a 4 or 5 like SGP, it's not like it's just 5 separate darts here. It's one handicap that factors into every piece of the play, which is why like you tend to go for these. And we actually, somebody even asked yesterday, like the Brook Lopez line that's involved in this bet was the exact same as his normal line, but we figured if Lopez is going to get this line, they're going to have to play Giannis like this, and all of this is going to have to be correlated. So we like that there. I can touch on the Siakam side of this briefly. So Ja Morant, there was like a brief period we stepped out for injury, but what really helped is that he had a couple of big threes early on this game, like deep threes you wouldn't normally expect him to hit. And that just kind of gave him the cushion to have like just a normal game, getting his normal usage, getting the paint. So he covers that. Siakam had a 16-point first half, but then in the second half, cooled off in the third quarter, got in foul trouble in the fourth quarter, and only actually finished with did finish with 24 points in the end, but just a bit of more subdued half. Let's talk about the Jalen Brunson side of this. Somebody in the chat mentioned the Bulls. There's a bit of an exception here to the point guard rule against Jalen Brunson. Was this one a bit different than you expected from the Bulls defense?
So at some point, Julius Randle was cooking them and decided just to go with switching, which is not something expected. But for the most part, they were playing exactly as I expected. So for the most part of the game, Jalen Brunson was guarded one-on-one against the Caruso and was double teamed on pick and rolls, and it was a slow-paced game. Didn't shoot much, not as much as going wrong with handicap. He just made every shot, and it's not that they were layups. They were contested mid-range shots, and he scored 8 out of the 10, I think, if I counted well. And if he scores 2 less, we win. So, yeah, I mean, his expected points were not over our line with the quality of the shots he got. But, yeah, nothing to do there. Sometimes it's like this. I mean, all of our 3 unders we had shot insanely well. Like Siakam was okay. Thankfully for the foul trouble, we got there. But he shot. He didn't miss anything.
And they're all jump. They're all, sorry, not all. A lot of them were jumpers too. Like he was just hitting some ridiculous shots yesterday.
That was my handicap. Like he won't get easy shots inside. He will need to make jumpers, and he did. So if he got 36 minutes, he will cover this line, and we will lose. But 9 for 14. Yeah, if he's 7 for 14, this is no sweat win, even if he gets the good minutes. So, yeah. And I will say, I watched first half. He got some 50-50 calls for free throws in the first half. I wouldn't call any of these, but I'm not saying anything about that. Just very efficient game. Brunson, very efficient game. And the last part, AD, a very efficient game. So our unders all overachieved, and we win 2 out of the 3. So I think we are.
Yeah, the 81, we get a really nice close here. It closed at DraftKings. It closed under 20.5 minus 140. A lot of places it did move to the 28.5, but he had this is weird. 80 had a really slow start to the game. Like after the first quarter, it was looking like a sweat-free win. Then he had a big second quarter, get himself back in it, and then he had a good third quarter as well. But ultimately stays under the line, thankfully, and gives us the nice profitability on the day. So good stuff. Yeah, you want to talk about AD?
It's insane. It's insane sometimes when you look at how he scored points in the first half. He scored, I think, when it was out of steal transition 2+1. Then he got the rebound, and they were in bonus twice, and they fouled him, so he got the free throws out of it. And yeah, like when he was guarded by Bam Adebayo, he couldn't do anything, and they played zone and put 3 guys inside on him. So the defense on him was very well. But where he scored points is when Adebayo sits and he was guarded by Kevin Love, and yeah, that wasn't good enough at all. But we won this one, and he played the entire second half, like 24 minutes in the second half for AD, and we still covered this. Like I think if he gets 36 minutes, he is not even close. 38 minutes, he's not even close to covering this. Like he will be like 25 points, no sweat. But he played 20 minutes in the first half and 24 in the second, and we still won. So yeah, I think we were very good here.
I was about to just wrap up the show here, but we actually got some live updates courtesy of Shams Charania of The Athletic. I just got this notification, so I wanted to bring it up on the show here. But Shams reports that there's currently a growing disconnect between Darvin Ham and the Lakers locker room stemming from disjointedness around rotation and adjustment. Lakers have lost 3 in a row, 9 of 12. They're now under 500. And I don't know how long the in-season tournament hangover excuse can last for this team. You obviously we're watching the Lakers because we were just talking about Anthony Davis. So this is a pretty good segue here. What are you sensing is going wrong for the Lakers, and what is the biggest problem with this team? Is it Darvin Ham?
I don't think it is. Like maybe by some part of it, but I don't think it is because this team doesn't work. Like if you are a big LeBron fan and you know how amazing he is, and you can see every game LeBron James drives to the rim, everyone collapses. Like all players collapse, and he kicks out, and they miss a wide open 3. And it happens possession after possession after possession. Reddish is not a shooter. Vanderbilt is not a shooter. Like they miss some shooting on this team, and the guys get a good minutes. Prince looked like only a reliable shooter so far this season. I honestly don't know what is his percentage, but so far what I look, yeah, 39%. So everyone else is not making any shots this season. Austin Reeves is playing well, but he's not shooting much that he can be considered as a great shooter. He's put up like 3 to 4 threes a game, and that's not making a big change. Yeah, they just can do so much inside. Like they can clog the paint in every game. And when you have AD non-shooter and LeBron James driving there, it's very difficult. It's actually insane how good LeBron is playing, considering how poor spacing he has every game. So I think there is more to the roster construction than it is to the Birmingham. And also, if you take a just a second, if you take a look at the losses, they lost to the Knicks, they lost to the Wolves, they lost to the Celtics, they lost to the Wolves, they lost to the Pelicans. I mean, they are not better than any of these teams.
Yeah.
So they are not like some like, I mean, losing to
Well, I
Miami
mean,
Heat at home.
there's a
I
loss to the
mean,
Bulls and Spurs as well. But yeah, they lost to the Heat as well here, as you
yeah.
said.
The Spurs loss was without Anthony Davis. So yeah, that's he's their best
I
player.
mean, it's the Spurs. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What you're saying is there's a lot of tough teams in this stretch of games too.
Yeah.
But the Lakers are supposed to be a good team. Like you got to beat some of these teams as well. Like they're not necessarily better than these teams, but
Yeah, true.
if you want to be a contender, which they want to be, like since the in-season tournament, so that 12-game stretch is since the in-season tournament. They've lost 9 games. The only teams they've beaten are the Spurs, the Bulls, and they did beat the Thunder, but they're
I'll
continuing
also
to
say,
lose. Oh, and the Hornets they beat as well. Sorry.
yeah, I'll also say last 15 games are probably the best stretch of AD over the last 5 years since becoming a Lakers. Like he scores 30 points a game, very efficient and playing great defense. It's amazing that they lost so many games with AD being so amazing over the last 15
Yeah.
games.
Before the Raptors made the trade for quickly bear whatever, like their shooting was obviously really bad, and it kind of still is. But it always shocked me when I looked at 3-point stats around the league. The Lakers were always worse than the Raptors. The Lakers are bottom 4 in 3-point percentage this season, bottom 2 in 3-point frequency. So it just doesn't cater to LeBron's game. And Javon mentions they started 5 power forwards the other day, and I'm looking. They started Vando, Rui, AD, LeBron, and Prince. So yeah, 5 power forwards against the Pelicans. They lost by 20. That's so funny.
Yep.
The GM has had enough. But yeah, I mean, what can Darvingham really do with this group? They can't shoot. If a team can't shoot, they can't thrive in the modern NBA. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So that will do it for us today. It's a brief little chat as we wrap up the show here. Reminder, guys, before we recap the picks for today, make sure to recap the pick for today. Make sure to smash the like button if you're tailing the pick. Make sure to like if you enjoyed, and also subscribe to the channel. Keep updated on this content. If you're in audio form, take a minute to rate and review 5 stars as well. But that pick for today is in the Bucks and Spurs game. Just a one pick for the small slate, but it is a -115 SGP at DraftKings. Giannis under 36.5 points and 5+ assists. Let's try to capitalize after a good day yesterday, a 3-1 day yesterday. Let's try to make it another winning day today and get us in with some positivity going into tomorrow's end of the week show for Friday. Tune in later today with myself and Kirk Evans, 2:30 p.m. Eastern time for NBA deep dive and analysis, weekly takeaways. We'll talk about that Raptors and Knicks trade. We'll talk about some other stuff around the league. Make sure you tune in. Hopefully we'll see you there. Me, myself, and Pips will be back here same time tomorrow for more from Pick and Roll.